Welcome to the Spfl Preview programme here on plzsoccer.com. I'm Peter Martin, I'm joined by Alan Ruff and Gordon Smith. It's our game of the day. It's Motherwell against Hamilton here at Fir Park. We're on Central FM 103.1 from 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we're also on your radio in Glasgow and the West. But with pictures, you can watch us on the web, on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. You'll get the pictures of Motherwell against Hamilton, all the build-up and all the interviews with the key players and managers. Now, Alan Ruff, Motherwell against Hamilton in midweek. The Ackies won it in a penalty shootout, albeit on a 3G surface. Now we're back to grass.
Yes, we certainly are, and I think most of the Motherwell players will be more comfortable on this surface. But I think the sending offs during the weeks disrupted the game a wee bit. They'll be disappointed to get knocked out of the cup, but they'll be hoping to change that here.
Stuart McCall certainly not happy with the surface. It seems to have an untrue bounce, Gordon, which annoys more than a few players.
It's a bounce you've got to get used to. It's not the same as grass. Whether it's untrue or not is the question. But I just think that we have to go down the line. We're going to move towards more artificial surfaces. So I think they just got to get used to it. Let's
talk about Motherwell. How do they bounce back from that? Because it looked as if they were just starting to get a bit of momentum in the league, and now they have that League Cup setback in a penalty shootout. Here, on this true surface, they get a chance to try and get as much service as possible to one key player in particular, John Sutton.
Yes, I think John Sutton could be the key to it. The thing about Motherwell is that they've got probably, maybe you could say, better players than Hamilton have got, but they certainly get more experience. Hamilton are having to play a few youngsters at the moment, and that's a key factor. That's why I was quite surprised. Maybe the pitch did play a part in it, but I was quite surprised that Hamilton actually got through, albeit on penalties. And I think that Sutton's a player they're relying on, because he is a man that can get them goals, and when he scores, they do generally get a result.
John Sutton suddenly coming into a bit of form, and when he does get the supply indeed in the penalty box, as he showed against Celtic, he can tuck the ball away. What about Hamilton Ackies? If anything, scoring goals over the last two games, Ruffy, has been their problem, and one key player in particular has been missing in the last two games.
Yes, he certainly has. He's been out, Anton Courier. He's been a big player for them. He's come up with late goals in the league, and you need somebody like that. They were sadly missed in the last two games. We covered them, but I'm sure if he comes back, he's got a presence in there, and given a good delivery, he could come up with a good.
Motherwell against Hamilton is our game of the day, but let's look at the fixtures. One of the key games is the early kick-off at New St Mirren Park. St Mirren against Celtic, and of course Ronnie Dyler's side could heap even more pressure on Tommy Craig. They lost to Partick Thistle in midweek as well in the League Cup.
Yes, after getting a win against Partick in the league, which was a massive win, they'll obviously be disappointed, but maybe they're thinking more about their league form than they are about cups at the moment, because the thing about St Mirren is, having got the points in the bag, they'll be desperate to go on and get more points, but it's one of the hardest games they could have got, obviously. Even though they're at home, they're playing against Celtic.
And of course, of the other fixtures, as we look down the card, Aberdeen against Inverness Caledonian Thistle is an interesting one, Ruffy. Cali find themselves back up at the top end of the table again, in form in the league after that little stutter, but they're facing an Aberdeen side who trounced Livingston.
Yes, they certainly are. Inverness will go there with a lot of confidence, sitting up the top, but Aberdeen, as you said, are now firing on all cylinders. A lot of players scoring goals, particularly the two strikers, and I think Good Willie is now becoming the player that we once saw.
Just before we go, let's have a look at the table. Dundee, Inverness and Hamilton Ackies still at the top end of the table, and it's critical that Ross County somehow try and get something to get themselves off the foot, Ruffy.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We saw St Mirren struggling there for 5 or 6 games. They definitely need some kind of comfort result, some confidence result in the team, and I'm sure the manager and the players will be hoping that it comes sooner rather than later.
And here between Motherwell and Hamilton Ackies, let's hope, and the good news is, Gordon, we don't have to go to extra time and penalties.
No, we don't want to see extra time, certainly after a 0-0, but I still think this will be a very good game. I don't see a lot of goals in it, but I think there'll be a lot of quality, and there'll probably be quite a few chances made.
If you want the excitement, then join us here for our game of the day, Motherwell against Hamilton. We're here in Lanarkshire at Fir Park. You can join us on plzsoccer.com from 2 o'clock. You'll have pictures of us up there in the press box describing the action to you, and we'll be flashing across the country for the Premiership, Championship, League 1 and League 2. If you're in the car, you can catch us on Central FM 103.1 in Stirling, Falkirk and Edinburgh. You can also get us on DAB right across the country, and if you're in Glasgow in the West, on your radio 103 and 106.9. But it all kicks off 2 o'clock, plzsoccer.com for the SPFL preview, and then all the action, all the goals as they hit the back of the net. Thanks for joining us.